It's food as dogs with a name. Little podcast with no name. Little panic and Matt and John talking about fuck on. So sit back, relax and enjoy. The podcast with no name. The podcast with no name. The podcast is the podcast with no name.
Welcome to a podcast with no name. I am joined by my co-host Matt.
Hi.
And I'm Nick. Hi. And
Joel's dead.
I think Joel's sick of our shit.
He's gone. We've lost him.
We ran him off. Actually, we're pretty sure he mentioned something about potentially being very busy over the next couple of weeks, and so we think that he did briefly. And this might be another instance of us just not paying attention to what Joel was saying during an episode.
I was too busy eating sausages at the time.
So, anyways, and I was too concerned with the fact that my mic was completely ruining the episode. So, yeah, we're going to try something different. We're going to be just the two of us. And this is an interesting episode as I am also in England. So we're both in the same country recording this podcast right now. And I have 1,000,001 questions for Matt based on my mildly interesting observations about his country. And I would love to just sit here and rest my elbows on the table and, put my chin in my palms and tilt my head to the side and ask him tons and tons of inane, useless, pointless questions about England.
It's amazing. All those words you use to describe your questions are also words we use to describe the country.
Useless and inane. I don't know. It's been interesting. There's a lot of weird conversations on the streets. That's all I have to say.
Oh, I don't listen to conversations on the streets. I'm just earphones in, loud, angry rock music playing and just hoping everyone leaves me alone. So.
Well, I think I'm a little bit shocked that I actually understand everything that everyone's saying. Typically walking around the street.
Stereotypical Family Guy Brits with just enormous accents going, oh, pip cheerio, crumpets and tea and biscuits and all that.
Typically people have to adjust and change the way that their speaking pattern when they speak to me for me to understand. So maybe, I don't know. It's usually you have to be like, what? After the first set of questions. So it's very odd. Because I've also known that people who I understand clearly, when they talk to other Brits, I stop understanding what they're saying as soon as they start talking to other British people. So,
is that just because you can't understand the accent or anything, or is it just because what they say is so immediately uninteresting to you, it just instantly lulls you into a sort of sleep?
Well, it's both the slang and I'm trying to come up with the exact terminology for it, but it's just they're using slang to describe very normal, everyday, mundane things.
Oh, we love doing that.
I think that's very, very pointless, so I guess that would fall under boring. It's not vocabulary I would need to learn ever for anything.
No, you're never going to really need to use quid anywhere else in your life.
Yeah, but I could also say the same thing for certain parts of the U.S., like in Boston. I have a hard time understanding.
You can't go somewhere and have it just be a black hole of exact stereotypical There's no place where you just go and say that is every single word they will ever use is all American. Yeah.
Well, and I've had a couple Brits tell me that they're like, oh, I didn't peg you as an American. Where'd you think I was from, exactly? So, I don't have a specific accent, I guess you would say. So, anyways, this is our discussion about my being in England for a couple days before I go back to Germany and go about my blissful existence. So, usually we'd have some sort of derail at some point during the episode, but since it's the two of us, we're just going to interject at any given point in time. And one of the things I was thinking of is we were discussing Dungeons and Dragons just a tiny bit last week when we tried to record the episode and Joel didn't show up. And I have come up with a character for you.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was thinking you would be a warlock, somebody who basically hears a bunch of voices in his head, but like lashes out with huge, powerful spells and kills people. And your name would be Snuggle Lord.
Oh, I love Snuggle Lord. That's awesome. I love it. It's so cute. It sounds like just this adorable little woolen like. When I see Snuggle Lord in my head, all I imagine is just a really cute wool rabbit thing, like one of those rabbit toys that kids have, that just wants to hug you.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking you'd be like some sort of Goliath or something, some huge hulking guy.
No, I want to be the cuddle rabbit.
Cuddle rabbit. You could be a gnome who is like wearing rabbit skin or something.
I don't want to wear rabbit skin.
You dress like a rabbit.
I don't want to skin a rabbit. I can barely eat a hugger, so I'm not
Still
going to
bleeding.
skin a rabbit.
Everything. But the cool thing about that would be that you could ride on a dog as your steed. That's an actual thing too.
I don't know. The only dog that comes to my mind is a West Highland Terrier, and that thing ain't getting ridden.
No, it typically based in the rule book it would be a Mastiff
Right.
as the default. Yeah.
And I will call it Snuggle Dog. Snuggle Dog.
Snuggle Dog and
Lord.
Snuggle Lord. Yeah. Riding your
Snuggle Lord
Mighty
may actually
Steed,
become my
Snuggle
online
Dog.
pseudonym now. Like, if I'm ever online and I want to, like, start writing somewhere, Snuggle Lord is so going to be my thing. Like, that's just, I will be Snuggle Lord.
Yeah. And I was gonna come up with some sort of Joel of course would be a bard. Yeah. So, and then I have many characters already for different games that I played. So
Dungeons and Dragons.
oh
Nah.
yeah, and Dungeon World and other game systems. Oh yeah. Yeah, the last game I played with my son was basically I was a half troll whose regeneration was so overpowered that he like developed like a vestigial T-Rex limb in his chest. And he always acted way smarter than he actually was. But he was also a cannibal who ate people. So
That is everything a stereotypical teenager is.
a top hat, monocle wearing cannibal
You're in Britain. Have you seen Monopoly?
with a vestigial T-Rex limb coming out of your chest.
Well, it's not necessarily chest. But,
Yes.
you know, vestigial
Somewhere.
is the word I would use, even though I'm not quite sure what it is.
Vestigial is like when you ancestor after evolution has taken place, you grow like a piece of what your ancestors used to have, but you no longer need. Like humans with tails. It's a vestigial tail.
I feel like I recognise that word from a really well-known fiction book that was notorious for being terrible. I can't remember. Oh, The Eye of Argon. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it. No.
It is glorious. It is the way it's written. There's such classic stuff as a guy basically having sex with a prostitute, seemingly in a tavern, and then after having sex with her, he just goes, "You make love well."
Amazing writing.
It's so terrible, but it's like just glorious to read.
I was reading early Michael Moorcock, and before like he was a fantasy novel critic who complained about Tolkien's writing, but then like his early works were just like, and then circumstances just come to be that this guy trips and dies, and that's how they survive. And it's like that's really stupid. Magically this happened. So yeah, you didn't know, but this guy had this thing the whole time that kills everybody.
Oh, a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. But like typically in a story, it would be like, they'd hint at something, but instead they just get into a situation where like literally the villain's standing over him, about ready to stab him, and then giant fucking bird like kills the guy. It's like, wait, what?
There's a part of me that just loves bad storytelling because there's something so adorable in it. You tried to tell a story. You tried. You didn't do it very well, but you tried.
You gave it your best.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because he was a pretty big critic of Tolkien style fantasy.
You don't have to be good at something to criticize it.
Yeah.
Most film reviewers aren't going to be able to make Tarantino level films or David Fincher level films. They know what aspects are good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, take a look at Red Letter Media.
Yeah, they are quite a good example of that.
Yeah. Where they're very good at criticizing and pointing out what makes a good movie. But then when it comes to them making movies...
Yeah, the acting in that stuff pretty
that's kind of the point.
Bad. I get it's the point, but sometimes it is just a bit too much, really.
Well, they like schlock, but I don't think that's an excuse to just not follow through on a plan.
Yeah.
Like, actually follow through on the actual storytelling of it. I've only seen one of their movies, but I was very disappointed in it.
No, I don't watch them. I've watched a couple of their videos and then stopped when they made a transphobic joke, and it just annoyed me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say I can think of a single YouTube review critic that hasn't, like, had a good run and then just out of nowhere says something that just makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, like it always is disappointing when that happens.
Yeah,
Or,
I can think of a couple.
or it's like when you go back and watch someone who you like now, but used to say stuff that's like sexist or something, and you're like, oh, I'm disappointed in you.
I was thinking of what was it? I bring up the nostalgia, not nostalgia critic, but
Cinema snob.
cinema snob. Yeah, but I found him because I watched Nostalgia Critic.
I've been going back and
And,
watching Nostalgia Critic lately. I do quite like those.
Yeah, but it's really weird because he will like prove that something's bad by putting things in the wrong chronicle order to like say, well, this movie's copying this movie, but the movie that he's saying that's copying came out the movie actually came out before the movie that is supposedly copying, and it's like that annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that's...
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So.
I've just thought of another thing. I've been I've been fucked in the head lately because I'm emotionally damaged and et cetera, et cetera. So I've been just revolving around a kid state now and just watching a bunch of kids shows. Like,
well, we were talking about that.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
But I've had music from the Muppet Show just on loop all the time. Or music from Steven Universe, or even like Power Rangers theme songs. I've been going back and listening to like the rock track from Power Rangers shows. That was some cringy rock stuff, but I love it. Like, it's glorious to watch.
Well, it's like the people who are really obsessed with video game. What are they called? Remixes or like recreations of video game songs? But like it's just a bunch of repetitive. Not all the songs are like that, but it's a bunch of repetitive stuff. Usually, it just guys with guitars and drums and everything just playing the same repetitive thing over and over and over again. And I just never got into that stuff.
I kind of like it.
Well, I mean, then there's the people who like went back and are like, oh, the music from like Transformers and everything. You need to remake all that. It's like, well, a lot of that was not very good.
Yeah, it was god awful. But look up oh my god, I never actually watched the original Power Rangers because I watched like the knockoff Power Rangers series. Like there was one called SPD, where the main like person in charge of the Power Rangers was an animatronic puppet dog thing, and it was awesome. Or there's like another one which was called Power Rangers Dino Thunder or something, and it was just they just found some stuff in the woods, and then that's how they became the Power Rangers. It was great. I love the Power Rangers. Stupid.
It's like you are the chosen one. You tripped over the ancient relic. Therefore, you are chosen.
No, it's not even that. It's more like how Spider-Man gets his powers, in that he just did it by accident. They literally stumbled upon a few things in the woods, then some monsters attacked them. Then they asked this random scientist that they know, and it turns out he created them. Then they just become the Power Rangers.
Seems fair enough.
It's stupid, but
sounds legit.
Or the Muppets. I watched some of the Muppets movie. The Muppet Christmas Carol is great, even though for some reason they cut out sad music from it in like most versions, which is annoying because it ruins the film. And there's some bad Muppets. There are some bad Muppet films.
Yeah.
They're just not funny. It's like, and they did a reboot of the Muppet Show where it's just The Office.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's weird. It was weird. It's like Miss Piggy and Kermit have broken up. Kermit's going around with a different pig. Like, I think he's exclusively attracted to pigs or something, which is weird to think about. I just assumed they were all, frogs fuck chickens, chickens fuck pigs, pigs fuck anyone,
No, apparently not. They had to make it weird.
No, it's just, it's so weird. What? Plus, this is also amazing. The first episode of that new Muppet Show, which is The Office, aired around the same time as the Piggate scandal in the UK. Please tell me you heard about the Piggate scandal, or I'm...
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, the scandal was basically someone spread a rumour that the Prime Minister of this country put his dick in a dead pig at college. Which... It was a great few days when that was genuinely believed by most people.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's...
Because people hate in this country. All we seem to do is just hate everyone who's in charge. No matter who's in charge, we'll hate them.
Yeah, well, I mean, but what's weird is being from the U.S.
Nick, I can't hear you.
And dealing with what's going on currently is that just everyone's just taken a side.
Oh dear.
No matter how illogical someone's being, as long as they're on their side.
I think the mic is broken. I can't hear you. Hello again.
after a brief interruption caused by a shortage of internet at my hotel, followed by my computer demanding to be shut off for a Windows update. We're back. Did you have any plans for this episode in terms of discussion points, or?
I was honestly going to either ask about kids shows or just saying who would you Valentine and hoping someone could make something funny with that.
Who would you Valentine?
Who would you Valentine?
Like,
It's been about a week now, but I was thinking Valentine's Day because when we last recorded it would have been like the day after Valentine's Day.
yeah.
I was thinking like ask you who would you share a night with?
Besides my wife?
That's the obvious answer. You know, get a nice book. That reminds me. Twitter.
Yeah.
I ran some Twitter polls, and I want to read the results. This is
okay.
literally jokes that have already been written.
Nice.
Okay, so I tweeted out. This is the exact tweet. Map coitus. Thoughts? And the 4 options on Twitter was out of my backyard, sure. Can maps consent? Can someone fuck a map? And where does the dinkle go? Overall, we had 6 votes. 50% went to can maps consent. 1 person said can someone fuck a map, and 2 people asked where does the dinkle go?
Well, I thought I thought we had a answer to that in our episode where we discussed photography fetishes, where you just poke a hole in the map. That's where the dingle will go.
Right, and then I also tweeted another one asking about the logistics of map sex. This one was simply, would you fuck a map? And it had 6 votes again. One of these votes was 10 out of 10 would fuck again. You mean you don't? Only with compass behind, and I'd rather eat Igglybuff. 67% said 10 out of 10 would fuck again. 17% said you mean you don't, and 17% said only with compass behind. Some fascinating insight into our listeners here.
Now, did you actually go to any of these cartography map fetish Reddit pages or anything else?
No,
like
this was
that
literally
to
just a
advertise
Twitter
it,
poll
or?
that I ran. Okay.
Okay.
Going to the Valentine's Day poll again. I saw Lego Batman, and I insist it is the best Valentine's Day movie that is available to watch. So I ran a poll saying, which film is better to take your partner to see for Valentine's Day? Lego Batman, Lego Batman, Lego Batman, or hardcore internet porn? 21 votes. Guess how many went to the internet porn?
All of them?
76%.
Wow.
76% would rather take their loving partner to watch internet pornography than watch a film about a rich man punching people.
Yes.
And finally, this one's just basically recapping the entirety of our past episodes. It only got 3 votes, but you know, asking for a friend, which sexual interest is the most bizarre? Star fuckers, map fuckers, or book fuckers? Equal split on all 3.
Very nice.
So we're all equally messed up.
Yeah. Kind of.
So that filled a few minutes of content.
Yeah. So I mean, considering all the discussions that we've had, I never fucked a book, but I did drop my meat in it. So I guess
That's what I was referring to. Yes.
yeah.
You're the book fucker.
Book fucker.
Joel's the map fucker. I'm the star fucker.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, when it comes down to our episodes, typically, you know, with the whole derail situation and everything else like that, it would rely on the fact that there's a 3-person dynamic involved. So what I'm going to do now is I am actually going to go to Giphy, and I'm typing in maps. And I'm going to look for the first absolutely random thing that it's going to show me. Because never have I typed anything into Giphy and had it provide me exactly what I'm looking for. But maps should provide me... Okay, here we go. Time is money, money is power, power is pizza, and pizza is knowledge.
Seems legit. I actually think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got started.
So would that mean that Power is pizza, and pizza is knowledge. So, are we taking that backwards? So, knowledge is pizza is power is money, and money is time? Or does that only work one way?
Do you know what? Probably didn't think of that. They weren't making a deep philosophical point. They were just saying something they thought was funny.
Well, I think it's fairly flawed to think that knowledge would gain you pizza. And
Kind of would. You know, if you were smart enough to trick someone into buying you a pizza, or you were smart enough to know how to buy a pizza, that would certainly help. You know, if you were so inept in the food ordering industry that you don't know how to order a pizza, you just walk into a shop and go, "Oh, chips, please. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot."
But money is one of the options. So you don't have money. You just have knowledge to generate pizza. And then you have pizza is power over people. So if you have pizza, yeah, that makes sense. Power is money. Okay. But money is time.
Money is everything. Money is all we ever spend on our mortal coil. Time is passing us by slowly, and we are but crumbling into the abyss.
There is a lot of gamers teabagging each other.
Why wouldn't there be?
Well, let's do Matt Fuckers. And you get a parrot.
Dirty parrot. Dirty parrot.
And Samuel L. Jackson reading the book Go to Fuck to Sleep.
Oh my god, have you ever listened to that? It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is so glorious to listen to. I think half of this podcast has just been us telling listeners, hey, this is good. You should go and watch them.
These are all good things. Maybe you should try doing these good things because they're good.
Because you're listening to two people just struggling for content for half an hour.
Well, I've been trying to actually do something this week, which is incorporate some of the president's lexicon into my normal everyday language. So very, very unsuccessfully, mind you. I'm a loser. I don't do it bigly.
What?
I do need a Tic Tac.
Tic Tac's not a global thing. I thought Tic Tacs were like a thing.
Yeah, well, apparently it's a saying. If you ever watch the music video for Grab Them by the Pussy, you would know all these sayings.
Well, I don't watch Grab Them by the Pussy.
So, have you heard about that?
What, have I heard about the Grab Them by the Pussy thing? Yeah, I've heard of that.
No, the music video.
No.
So, Germany's response was to create a music video.
We don't have Joel here to hold him accountable for it.
Yeah, but it was quite hilarious. And it was a music video mostly comprised of just sayings from the president.
Just calling the president makes me sad.
Again, I'm just telling you, there's something else good on the internet. Yeah.
There is nothing good on the internet.
There is.
This podcast is on the internet. Purge it.
Yeah. This episode is going to be a clip show that we're just going to intermix different other episodes and see if anyone notices the repeated content. I really do wish we had at least somebody had recorded at least one side of the conversation on our first our first actual discussion.
Yeah, because we're good then.
Well, we actually had a series of things to talk about based on a mutual misunderstanding about who we were, which apparently is more interesting than actually having common understanding about different topics presented on the internet. And my life right now is not incredibly interesting. All I've done is travel to England.
That's not interesting in the least.
So, let's go with another question about your country, by the way. Why is your spicy food bland?
It's not that
and
bland.
Not spicy at all.
It's relatively spicy. I mean, go for an Indian and get a vindaloo. That'll answer for you. I mean, it's technically not our food, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got some spicy chips. So one of the big problems is that every time we go out, all we could find is pubs. And went to an Australian one that served apparently kangaroo. So I was like, I've never had kangaroo. Let me try some kangaroo. Why not? I've never had the option before, so I'm going to do that. They didn't have any kangaroo. I was like, well, let me get some chicken. Alice Springs chicken or something. No, they have none of that. So, constantly going up trying to order different things. And what do they have? Just burgers and chips. So, yeah, I don't understand hamburgers in other countries because they don't really... I don't know. Like, do you guys not put anything on your hamburgers? I don't understand it.
Well, we put, like, salads and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Where I am, at least. We have, like, tomatoes and lettuce and all that stuff on it.
Every time I've ordered one, it's been mayo, a leaf of lettuce, and a single tomato. And...
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm not a big vegetable fan, so I'm not going to be asking for more vegetables most of the time.
Well, I mean, it's just that the whole situation is not a fantastic hamburger.
It might not be a fantastic hamburger, but, I mean, look, have you ever actually thought about what a hamburger is? Because it is literally a disc made from disembodied animal bits.
All ground up. And you take a hammer and you smack it and turn it into a disc, and then you could either press it, you could throw it on a grill, you could do a lot of different things to it. But, yeah, you make it, you turn it from nice bloody meat to, what is it, like dark brown. I mean, that's all you do.
Yeah, but it's just... I'm not gonna... If you're going in a place where you're going to order a burger, you're not exactly going, I'm on a diet, I want to eat healthily. So what does it matter what they put on the burger? As long as the burger's alright and the burgers taste fine.
It was okay.
Eh.
It was okay. I think I've been a little bit spoiled by the fact that in Germany, you wanna find an American hamburger place because they seem to be under the assumption that all American hamburgers are these massive gourmet monstrosities that just have all kinds of crazy shit on them.
Well, I mean,
and it's fantastic.
Have you ever been to a Chinese restaurant in the UK? They're basically the same kind of cultural misunderstanding, pretty much.
No, actually I haven't. But if you go in the US, it's basically a bunch of stuff that they don't actually serve in China at all.
Mm.
It's a bunch of fried bullshit.
Mm. No, you want to get, if you're in Britain, you just go for the traditional fish and chips, you know?
Yeah, well, I usually do that as my parting meal.
Yeah.
Get up to sitting at Heathrow waiting for the queue. I am, this episode is,
A train wreck?
kind of a train wreck. I'm gonna chug some of this high in vegetables pressed green veggie drink, on this podcast and, tell you all about it. So oh my god, this is horrible smelling. Alright, there we go. Bottoms up. Holy shit. Oh. Joel, this is what happens when you're not part of the episode.
You have ruined us, Joel. What have you done? Come back, please.
Oh, man. Okay, so it was mostly just broccoli and cucumber. Oh. We're going to systematically torture ourselves.
I'll get the bloody knives.
You could always, on the podcast, play that knife game where you try and make it between your fingers, and you'll just hear dun 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 dun. Fuck my finger!
Ow! Joel, come back, please. We're just kids mutilating ourselves without you. Where did he go? What did we do to upset him?
We ran him off. Just plain and simple, we ran him off.
Yeah.
We did not appreciate his quiet, but very intelligent commentary on what we were talking about. Because we were too busy being loud while he was being quiet.
Now we're just trying desperately to think of something to say.
Well, we need to say a bunch of stuff and then leave a bit of quiet, just silence.
I think at this point I am just going to start editing in clips of Joel that we've got from past episodes. Say, Joel, what do you think of this past episode?
I didn't like it.
we've had a couple pauses in here. You could totally add just stuff that he said previously in the middle of it. And then there's the Joel usually laughs more than anybody during our episodes.
Yeah, we'll use Joel as our canned laughter track.
We could just loop his laughter for the entire episode.
Just in the background.
Just to see.
Just fade it in.
To see if
in one
it makes...
ear. Just him, just fading in, and it will just drive the listeners mad.
As this train wreck of an episode is cobbled together out of the fragments of what we're able to recover from crashes and mandatory updates of our computers and bullshit.
I think this episode is just going to be called the one where we really want Joel to come back.
It's just going to be titled "Come Back, Joel."
Joel.
We miss you.
We miss you, Joel.
We miss you, Joel. All right, so it's about this time in the podcast that we actually discuss some sort of product based on what we discussed. So,
can we just pitch a magnet for Joel?
Well, I think a good product would be our very own role-playing game, designed around very poor storytelling. So, as part of the game mechanics, you have to tell the story very poorly, and you have to integrate poor, I guess, Trumpisms into your language and other things. I guess those would be character traits that you'd have to adopt as you're playing the game to progressively make the story worse and worse and worse. And I'm trying to think of very bad B-movie bullshit, it's garbage day.
It's garbage day.
But so we'll
Fuck
just
you,
bring
Lucky
in
Charms.
The creatures that you fight will just be us pulling bullshit from very unknown, unheard of children's TV shows. You're showing me those puppets from that one TV show. We'll just design everything based on that concept right there. Terrible Power Rangers ripoffs and everything else like that.
Oh my god, that dog. The adorable dog man. Yes.
And I guess if we were to run a campaign, it would be the quest to find our bard.
Yeah, just...
So sad.
Then we just find him, and it's just him, and it would literally be like this epic quest across... Because we're both in the UK, so we've got to journey to Germany. So it'll basically just be these just massive, burly adventurers, and we just show up, and we get on the plane, and we sit there.
No.
And we're going to go on this
massive quest, and we'll swim across the Strait of Gibraltar and fight our way through France to get to Germany.
Oh, we're in Britain. Fighting the French is what we dream about.
And then when we get there,
he's just going to be sat at home asleep. That's just all. It's just going to be him sat at home asleep watching Rick and Morty.
He's going to be busy. And then I'll go home. My wife will be like, "Why didn't you just take the fucking plane?"
And then I'll have to take the plane home.
We'll put you on a bus.
We miss you, Joel. We wish.
Well, the show's designed around a three-person discussion because, everyone contributes at least one thing to the episode, which makes it pretty easy to manage. But when there's two people, we have to actually both provide several different points of commentary in order to propel the episode forward.
I'd also like to point out that we are, on our site, described as the mastermind and the producer.
Yeah.
We have
no
done very
creativity
little in the way of being masterminds or producing anything.
In terms of producing, I showed up.
Yeah, I
you
showed
called,
up too.
And I jumped immediately into this episode. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
God
it's
knows
been
how.
a lot of rambling and bullshit, nonsense, and we're probably going to take this, cut what we like, discard the rest, and clip in audio of Joel laughing and other things.
So I hope you enjoyed this 2-minute podcast.
Yeah. So this episode will probably be about 5 minutes long, mostly composing of things Joel has said. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and this has been Podcast with No Aim.
What's the literal time that's ever been called that?
Sorry I'm late, guys. What did I miss?